Jesus taught me business success strategies from the parables of Jesus Christ, written and published by the Zillion Pro. Chapter 1. Why Jesus in Business? Imagine a world where business decisions are guided not just by profit margins, but by principles of compassion, integrity, and wisdom. Picture leaders who inspire loyalty not through fear or force, but through humility, empathy, and vision. This is the essence of what this book aims to explore: how the teachings of Jesus Christ can serve as a blueprint for success, not only in personal life but also in the realm of business. At first glance, it might seem unusual to draw parallels between ancient parables and modern corporate strategies. After all, Jesus wasn't running a Fortune 500 company, nor was he crafting quarterly earnings reports. Yet, his teachings offer profound insights into human behavior, leadership, and ethical decision-making, qualities that are essential for any successful enterprise today. Through his stories, Jesus communicated complex truths in simple yet powerful ways. These same truths can be applied to the challenges we face in business, helping us navigate everything from team dynamics to market competition. This chapter will lay the foundation for understanding why Jesus' teachings matter in business and how they can transform the way you approach your career, leadership style, and organizational culture. The parables, a timeless communication tool. Parables are more than just stories, they are tools designed to illuminate deeper truths about life. In the context of business, these narratives provide practical lessons on strategy, risk-taking, resource management, customer service, and even crisis management. Let's break down why parables resonate so deeply. 1. Universal appeal. Parables use everyday scenarios, farming, trade, travel, family relationships, that anyone can relate to. Similarly, businesses operate within familiar frameworks like supply chains, marketing, finance, and human resources. 2. Layered meaning. Each parable contains multiple layers of meaning, inviting listeners to reflect and discover new insights over time. In business, problems often require multifaceted solutions, and parables encourage us to think critically and creatively. 3. Engaging narratives. Stories stick with us longer than statistics or bullet points. By framing business lessons within parables, we create memorable takeaways that influence our actions and decisions. Jesus used parables to challenge conventional thinking and inspire change. As business professionals, we too must embrace unconventional approaches to stand out in an increasingly competitive landscape. Whether you're leading a startup or managing a multinational corporation, the lessons embedded in these stories hold universal relevance. Business ethics, a missing piece in modern leadership. In recent years, there has been growing recognition of the importance of ethics in business. Scandals involving fraud, exploitation, and environmental harm have highlighted the need for leaders who prioritize values alongside profits. But what does ethical leadership look like? And how do we cultivate it? Here's where Jesus' teachings come into play. His emphasis on love, justice, humility, and accountability provides a framework for building trust, fostering collaboration, and creating sustainable growth. Consider the following questions. How do you treat employees when times are tough? Do your business practices align with your stated values? Are you willing to make sacrifices for the greater good? These questions may feel daunting, but they are rooted in the timeless principles Jesus taught. When we lead with integrity, we build stronger teams, earn customer loyalty, and contribute positively to society, all while achieving financial success. Faith meets strategy, bridging spirituality and professionalism. Some might argue that spirituality has no place in the boardroom. However, separating faith from work creates a false dichotomy. Our beliefs shape our worldview, influencing how we interact with others and approach challenges. By integrating spiritual wisdom into our professional lives, we unlock a richer, more holistic approach to business. Consider some key benefits of blending faith and strategy. 1. Long-term vision. Many businesses focus solely on short-term gains, sacrificing long-term sustainability. Jesus' teachings remind us to think beyond immediate results and invest in lasting impact. 2. Resilience in adversity. Every entrepreneur faces setbacks. Drawing strength from spiritual principles helps us persevere during difficult times. 3. Compassionate leadership. Leading with kindness and empathy fosters healthier workplaces and happier employees. 4. Purpose-driven work. When we connect our careers to something larger than ourselves, work becomes more fulfilling. Purpose drives motivation, innovation, and excellence. Your journey begins here. As you embark on this journey through Jesus Taught Me Business, remember that transformation starts with small steps. You don't need to overhaul your entire organization overnight. Instead, begin by reflecting on one area of your business where you could apply a biblical principle. Perhaps it's improving communication, enhancing customer service, or fostering teamwork. Over time, these incremental changes will compound, leading to significant improvements. Throughout this book, we'll delve deeper into specific parables and extract actionable insights tailored to various aspects of business. Along the way, you'll discover how Jesus' teachings can help you build stronger relationships with clients and colleagues, develop innovative strategies grounded in wisdom, create a workplace culture rooted in respect and dignity, achieve balance between profitability and purpose. So, whether you're a seasoned executive or an aspiring entrepreneur, let this book be your guide as you explore the intersection of faith and business. Together, we'll uncover the divine blueprint for success, one parable at a time. Questions to ponder. 1. What role do ethics currently play in your business decisions? How could incorporating spiritual principles enhance your approach? 2. Think of a recent challenge you faced in your professional life. How might Jesus' teachings have influenced your response? 3. Identify one value or principle from Jesus' teachings that resonates most with you personally. How can you bring that into your work environment? By answering these questions, you'll set the stage for meaningful growth and transformation throughout the rest of this audiobook. Welcome to the beginning of your journey toward purpose-driven success. Chapter 2. The Parable of the Sower. Have you ever felt like opportunities in business are scarce, fleeting, or out of reach? Perhaps you've spent countless hours chasing leads that never materialized or investing resources into projects that yielded little return. If so, you're not alone. Many entrepreneurs and leaders struggle with identifying and nurturing the right opportunities to grow their businesses. But what if I told you that opportunities are all around us, waiting to be recognized, cultivated, and harvested? This is the central message of the parable of the sower, one of Jesus' most enduring teachings. In this chapter, we'll explore how this parable applies to modern business practices, offering insights into recognizing fertile ground, planting seeds strategically, and reaping bountiful results. The biblical context, the parable of the sower. In Matthew 13:3-9, Jesus tells the story of a farmer who sows seeds in 4 different types of soil. 1. Pathway soil. Some seeds fall on hard-packed paths and are quickly eaten by birds. 2. Rocky soil. Other seeds land on shallow, rocky ground where they sprout but soon wither because there's no depth of soil for roots to grow. 3. Thorny soil. Still others fall among thorns, which choke them out before they can mature. 4. Good soil. Finally, some seeds fall on rich, fertile soil, producing a plentiful harvest, some 30-fold, 60-fold, or even 100-fold. After sharing the parable, Jesus explains its meaning to his disciples, Matthew 13:18-23. He likens the seeds to the Word of God, and the soils to different kinds of hearts or conditions. But beyond its spiritual significance, this parable holds profound lessons for anyone seeking to succeed in business. Business application, identifying fertile ground. At its core, the parable of the sower is about understanding environments and conditions. Just as farmers must assess the quality of their land before planting, business leaders must carefully evaluate markets, customers, and partnerships before committing resources. Let's break down the 4 types of soil and their implications for business. 1. Pathway soil, ignoring the right audience. Parable insight: seeds scattered on pathways don't take root because the ground isn't prepared. Business lesson: not every market or customer base is ready to receive your product or service. Targeting the wrong audience wastes time, energy, and money. Action step: conduct thorough market research to identify your ideal customers. Use data analytics, surveys, and feedback to understand their needs, preferences, and pain points. Focus your efforts on those most likely to engage with your offerings. 2. Rocky soil, lack of depth and foundation. Parable insight: seeds on rocky soil may sprout quickly but fail to thrive due to lack of nourishment. Business lesson: short-term gains without solid foundations often lead to failure. Quick fixes or superficial solutions rarely sustain long-term success. Action step: invest in building strong systems, processes, and infrastructure. Ensure your team has the skills, tools, and support needed to execute effectively. Avoid shortcuts that compromise quality or longevity. 3. Thorny soil, distractions and competing priorities. Parable insight: thorns represent distractions that prevent growth. They compete for sunlight, water, and nutrients, choking out the plants. Business lesson: in business, distractions come in many forms: unproductive meetings, unnecessary bureaucracy, or competing priorities. These thorns can derail progress and hinder productivity. Action step: streamline operations to eliminate inefficiencies. Set clear goals and priorities, and ensure everyone on your team understands them. Delegate tasks wisely, and create a culture of focus and accountability. 4. Good soil, cultivating the right conditions. Parable insight: seeds planted in good soil produce abundant fruit because the environment supports growth. Business lesson: success depends on creating the right conditions for innovation, collaboration, and execution. When you align people, processes, and resources, remarkable things happen. Action step: build relationships based on trust, respect, and mutual benefit. Foster a positive workplace culture that empowers employees to contribute their best. Continuously improve products, services, and customer experiences to meet evolving demands. Key takeaways: one of the most important lessons from the parable of the sower is the importance of focusing on quality over quantity. While the farmer scatters seeds indiscriminately, his greatest returns come from the seeds that land on fertile ground. Similarly, successful businesses prioritize high-value opportunities rather than spreading themselves too thin across low-potential ventures. Here are 3 practical strategies for applying this principle. 1. Targeted marketing: instead of casting a wide net, focus your marketing efforts on specific segments of your audience who are most likely to convert. Personalize your messaging to resonate with their unique needs and desires. 2. Strategic partnerships: choose collaborators who share your values and complement your strengths. Aligning with the right partners can amplify your impact and open doors to new opportunities. 3. Resource allocation: allocate your time, money, and energy to initiatives that offer the highest potential for growth. Don't let fear of missing out, FOMO, lead you to chase after every shiny object. Overcoming challenges: dealing with failed attempts. Not every seed will grow, and not every business venture will succeed. That's okay. Failure is part of the process. What matters is learning from mistakes and adapting for future attempts. Jesus' parable reminds us that even when some seeds fail, others can still yield extraordinary results. As a leader, your job is to recognize which efforts are worth continuing and which ones should be abandoned. Here's how to approach setbacks constructively. 1. Analyze the soil. Reflect on why certain initiatives didn't work. Was it the wrong timing, targeting, or execution? Adjust accordingly. 2. Learn and adapt. Treat failures as valuable lessons. Incorporate what you learned into future plans to increase your chances of success. 3. Stay persistent. Keep sowing seeds. Consistency and perseverance are key to long-term achievement. Your role as the farmer. As a business leader, you play the role of the farmer in this parable. Your responsibility is to prepare the soil, plant the seeds, and nurture the growth. You cannot control external factors like weather or pests, but you can influence internal conditions such as teamwork, communication, and resource allocation. To become a better farmer, consider these questions. Are you planting seeds in the right places? Are you providing the necessary care and attention for growth? Are you willing to adapt your methods based on feedback and results? Questions to ponder. 1. Think of a recent project or campaign. Did it succeed or fail? Using the framework of the parable of the sower, analyze the type of soil it encountered. 2. Identify one area of your business where you could improve alignment between resources, goals, and outcomes. What steps will you take to address this? 3. How do you handle setbacks or failures in your professional life? Can you reframe them as opportunities for growth? By answering these questions, you'll gain clarity on how to apply the parable of the sower to your own business journey. Remember, success comes not from scattering seeds randomly but from planting them strategically in fertile ground. Closing thought. The parable of the sower teaches us that success is possible when we focus our efforts on the right opportunities and create the conditions necessary for growth. By identifying fertile markets, investing in strong foundations, eliminating distractions, and nurturing relationships, you can achieve extraordinary results. Chapter 3. The Parable of the Talents. Imagine receiving a gift that has the power to transform your life and the lives of others. Now, imagine failing to use it because of fear or complacency. This is the essence of the parable of the talents, a story about responsibility, risk-taking, and maximizing one's potential. In this chapter, we'll explore how Jesus' teachings on stewardship can inspire business leaders to harness their resources, skills, and opportunities fully. The parable of the talents isn't just about money, it's about leveraging everything at your disposal: time, talent, relationships, and capital to create value and achieve success. By applying its principles, you can unlock hidden potential in yourself, your team, and your organization. The biblical context, the parable of the talents. In Matthew 25:14-30, Jesus tells the story of a master who entrusts his wealth to 3 servants before going on a journey. To one servant, he gives 5 talents. To another, he gives 2 talents. To the third, he gives 1 talent. Upon his return, the master evaluates how each servant used what was entrusted to them. The first 2 servants invest their talents wisely, doubling their amounts. The third servant buries his talent out of fear, returning it untouched. The master rewards the first 2 servants for their diligence and effort but rebukes the third for his lack of initiative. Ultimately, the lesson is clear: we are called to use our resources responsibly, take calculated risks, and strive for growth. Business application: turning resources into results. At its heart, the parable of the talents speaks to the importance of resourcefulness, innovation, and accountability in business. Let's break down the key elements of the parable and apply them to modern professional contexts, recognizing your unique gifts. Parable insight: each servant received a different number of talents based on their ability. Business lesson: every individual and organization possesses unique strengths and capabilities. Understanding these gifts is the first step toward maximizing them. Action step: conduct a thorough assessment of your personal skills, team dynamics, and organizational assets. Identify areas where you excel and align those strengths with strategic goals. 2. Taking calculated risks ***. Parable insight: the first 2 servants took risks by investing their talents, which led to significant returns. Business lesson: growth often requires stepping outside your comfort zone. Avoiding risk altogether stifles innovation and limits potential. Action step: develop a culture of experimentation within your organization. Encourage employees to propose new ideas, pilot projects, and test assumptions. Provide support and guidance as they navigate challenges. 3. Avoiding complacency ***. Parable insight ***. The third servant buried his talent rather than attempting to grow it, citing fear as his excuse. Business lesson: playing it safe may preserve what you have, but it won't help you thrive. Complacency leads to stagnation and missed opportunities. Action step: regularly challenge yourself and your team to push beyond current boundaries. Set ambitious yet achievable goals, and hold everyone accountable for progress. 4. Maximizing returns. Parable insight: the first 2 servants doubled their talents through wise investments. Business lesson: efficient use of resources drives profitability and sustainability. Focus on creating maximum value from every asset under your control. Action step: optimize processes, eliminate waste, and reinvest profits strategically. Ensure that every dollar, hour, and idea contributes to long-term success. Key takeaways: the parable of the talents emphasizes personal responsibility and initiative, qualities essential for effective leadership in business. Here are 3 actionable strategies to incorporate these principles into your daily operations. 1. Empower your team, delegate tasks based on individual strengths, and provide the tools needed for success. When people feel trusted and supported, they are more likely to take ownership of their roles. 2. Reward innovation. Celebrate creativity and risk-taking, even when outcomes aren't perfect. Recognize efforts that contribute to learning and growth, fostering an environment where failure is seen as part of the process. 3. Measure impact. Establish metrics to track performance and evaluate results. Use data-driven insights to refine strategies and ensure continuous improvement. Overcoming fear. Breaking free from limiting beliefs. Fear is the enemy of progress. Whether it's fear of failure, fear of change, or fear of judgment, it can paralyze even the most capable individuals and organizations. The third servant in the parable illustrates this perfectly. Instead of taking action, he allowed fear to dictate his behavior, resulting in lost opportunity. To overcome fear in business, consider these strategies. 1. Reframe failure. View setbacks as stepping stones to success. Analyze what went wrong, learn from the experience, and adjust accordingly. 2. Build confidence. Start small and build momentum. Success breeds confidence, making it easier to tackle bigger challenges over time. 3. Surround yourself with support. Collaborate with mentors, peers, and advisors who believe in your vision and encourage you to take risks. Your role as a steward of resources. As a business leader, you are a steward of the resources entrusted to you, whether they come in the form of financial capital, human talent, or intellectual property. Your job is to make the most of these assets, ensuring they generate meaningful returns for all stakeholders. Ask yourself, are you using your resources effectively, or are there areas where you could improve? Are you encouraging your team to think boldly and act decisively? Are you willing to embrace uncertainty in pursuit of greater rewards? Questions to ponder. 1. Reflect on a recent project or decision. Did you take a calculated risk, or did fear hold you back? What would you do differently next time? 2. Identify one area of your business where you could better leverage existing resources. How will you implement this change? 3. Think about your team. Are they empowered to innovate and contribute fully? If not, what steps can you take to foster a more inclusive and dynamic work environment? By answering these questions, you will gain clarity on how to apply the lessons of the parable of the talents to your own leadership style and organizational practices. Closing thought. The parable of the talents teaches us that success comes not from hoarding resources but from using them wisely and boldly. By recognizing your unique gifts, embracing calculated risks, avoiding complacency, and maximizing returns, you can achieve extraordinary results. Chapter 4. The Parable of the Good Samaritan. In today's hyper-competitive marketplace, businesses often focus on cutting-edge technology, aggressive marketing strategies, and bottom-line results. While these elements are undoubtedly important, there's a critical piece of the puzzle that can get overlooked: the human connection. At its core, business is about relationships with customers, employees, partners, and communities. And when it comes to nurturing those relationships, few parables offer more profound wisdom than the story of the Good Samaritan. This chapter will explore how Jesus' teaching in the parable of the Good Samaritan, Luke 10:25-37, applies to modern business practices. We'll uncover how empathy, service, and compassion can transform customer interactions, foster loyalty, and create long-term value for your organization. The biblical context. The parable of the Good Samaritan. In Luke 10:25-37, Jesus tells the story of a traveler who is robbed, beaten, and left half dead on the side of the road. A priest and a Levite pass by without offering help, but a Samaritan, a group despised by the Jews at the time, stops to care for the injured man. He bandages his wounds, takes him to an inn, and pays for his care. Jesus concludes the parable by asking, which of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers? The answer is clear: the one who showed mercy. At its heart, this parable challenges us to look beyond societal divisions and prioritize compassion over convenience. It invites us to see others not as obstacles or competitors but as individuals worthy of our attention and care. Business application. Building trust through service. The parable of the Good Samaritan offers a powerful framework for customer-centric leadership. In business, just as in life, people remember how they are treated far longer than what they buy. By adopting the mindset of the Good Samaritan, leaders can build trust, strengthen relationships, and differentiate their brands in meaningful ways. Let's break down the key elements of the parable and apply them to modern professional contexts. 1. Seeing beyond labels. Parable insight. The Samaritan saw past ethnic and cultural barriers to recognize the humanity of the injured man. Business lesson. Don't let preconceived notions or stereotypes cloud your judgment when interacting with customers or colleagues. Treat everyone with dignity and respect, regardless of their background or circumstances. Action step. Train your team to approach every interaction with genuine curiosity and openness. Encourage them to listen actively and respond thoughtfully to customer needs. 2. Taking initiative. Parable insight. The Samaritan didn't wait for someone else to act, he took immediate steps to help the victim. Business lesson. Proactive service sets exceptional companies apart from average ones. Anticipating customer needs and addressing issues before they escalate builds lasting trust. Action step. Implement systems that allow your team to identify potential problems early and resolve them quickly. Empower frontline employees to make decisions that benefit customers without needing managerial approval. 3. Providing tangible help. Parable insight. The Samaritan provided practical assistance, cleaning wounds, transporting the man to safety, and paying for his recovery. Business lesson. Customers appreciate actions that directly address their pain points. Offering tangible solutions demonstrates your commitment to their well-being. Action step. Develop products, services, or support programs that solve real-world problems for your customers. Regularly solicit feedback to ensure your offerings remain relevant and valuable. 4. Going above and beyond. Parable insight. The Samaritan didn't stop at basic first aid, he ensured the man received ongoing care by covering additional expenses. Business lesson. Exceeding expectations creates memorable experiences that inspire loyalty and advocacy. When customers feel truly valued, they become advocates for your brand. Action step. Create opportunities to surprise and delight your customers through personalized gestures, unexpected perks, or extraordinary service. These small acts can have a significant impact on customer satisfaction and retention. Key takeaways. The parable of the Good Samaritan teaches us that true leadership involves putting people first. Here are 3 actionable strategies to incorporate this principle into your business. 1. Foster a culture of empathy. Encourage your team to view customers as individuals with unique stories, challenges, and aspirations. Promote active listening, emotional intelligence, and problem-solving skills throughout your organization. 2. Prioritize customer experience. Make customer satisfaction a top priority. Invest in training, tools, and processes that enable your team to deliver exceptional service consistently. 3. Measure what matters. Track metrics related to customer happiness, such as Net Promoter Score, NPS, repeat purchase rates, and online reviews. Use these insights to refine your approach and celebrate successes. Overcoming obstacles, balancing profit and purpose. Some may argue that prioritizing customers detracts from profitability. However, research shows the opposite is true. Companies that invest in customer experience outperform their peers financially over the long term. According to a study by Bain & Company, increasing customer retention rates by just 5% can boost profits by up to 95%. Still, balancing profit and purpose requires intentionality. To overcome common challenges, consider the following strategies. 1. Set clear expectations. Define what excellent service looks like and communicate these standards across your organization. Ensure everyone understands the importance of delivering value to customers. 2. Allocate resources wisely. Prioritize investments in areas that enhance customer experience, such as employee training, technology upgrades, and quality assurance programs. 3. Celebrate successes. Recognize and reward teams or individuals who exemplify the values of the Good Samaritan. Sharing success stories reinforces the behaviors you want to encourage. Your role as a servant leader. As a leader, you set the tone for how your organization treats customers and employees. Are you modeling the behavior of the Good Samaritan? Do your actions reflect a commitment to service, empathy, and compassion? Ask yourself, are you creating an environment where employees feel empowered to serve customers effectively? Are you actively seeking feedback from customers to improve their experience? Are you willing to make sacrifices, whether financial, logistical, or personal, to ensure customer satisfaction? Remember, servant leadership isn't about being weak or self-effacing. It's about empowering others to succeed while maintaining integrity and authenticity. Questions to ponder. 1. Think of a recent interaction with a customer or client. Did you approach it with empathy and a desire to serve, or were you focused solely on closing the deal? How could you handle similar situations differently in the future? 2. Identify one area of your business where you could enhance the customer experience. What specific changes will you implement to achieve this goal? 3. Reflect on your leadership style. Are you fostering a culture of compassion and service within your organization? If not, what steps can you take to shift the focus toward people-first principles? By answering these questions, you will gain clarity on how to apply the lessons of the parable of the Good Samaritan to your own business practices. Closing thought. The parable of the Good Samaritan reminds us that serving others is both a moral imperative and a strategic advantage. By treating customers with kindness, understanding, and generosity, we build trust, foster loyalty, and create value that extends far beyond financial transactions. Chapter 5. The Parable of the Mustard Seed. Imagine planting a tiny seed in the ground. It's so small that it seems insignificant compared to the vastness of the earth or the towering trees around it. Yet, with time, care, and the right conditions, this minuscule seed can grow into something extraordinary, a lush tree providing shelter and sustenance for countless creatures. This is the essence of the parable of the mustard seed, one of Jesus' most inspiring teachings. In this chapter, we'll explore how this parable applies to business, offering insights into scaling up from humble beginnings, focusing on long-term vision, and nurturing growth through persistence and faith. Whether you're an entrepreneur starting a new venture or a seasoned leader looking to expand your organization, the lessons of the mustard seed will inspire you to dream big while staying grounded in reality. The biblical context, the parable of the mustard seed. In Matthew 13:31-32, Mark 4:30-32, and Luke 13:18-19, Jesus tells the story of the mustard seed. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds come and perch in its branches. At first glance, the mustard seed may seem like an unlikely symbol of greatness. After all, it starts as the smallest of seeds. But Jesus uses this analogy to illustrate how something seemingly insignificant can grow into something remarkable given the right conditions. This parable teaches us about the power of small beginnings, the importance of patience, and the potential hidden within even the tiniest efforts. Business application, scaling up from humble beginnings. For entrepreneurs and business leaders, the parable of the mustard seed offers a powerful reminder that success doesn't always start with grand gestures or massive resources. Often, it begins with a single idea, a modest investment, or a small team committed to a shared vision. Let's break down the key elements of the parable and apply them to modern professional contexts. 1. Start small but dream big. Parable insight. The mustard seed begins as the smallest seed but grows into the largest plant. Business lesson. Don't let limited resources or humble origins deter you from pursuing ambitious goals. Even the smallest startups have the potential to become industry giants if they focus on innovation, quality, and customer satisfaction. Action step. Clearly define your mission and vision, no matter how small your current operation might be. Communicate these aspirations to your team and stakeholders, and align your daily actions with your long-term objectives. 2. Invest in the right conditions. Parable insight. The mustard seed requires fertile soil, water, sunlight, and care to thrive. Business lesson. Just as plants need the right environment to grow, businesses require the proper conditions to succeed. These include strong leadership, talented employees, adequate funding, effective processes, and supportive networks. Action step. Assess the internal and external factors affecting your business. Identify areas where improvements can enhance productivity, efficiency, and scalability. Surround yourself with people who share your vision and bring complementary skills to the table. 3. Be patient and persistent. Parable insight. The growth of the mustard seed takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Business lesson: building a successful enterprise requires patience, resilience, and consistent effort. Avoid shortcuts or quick fixes that compromise long-term sustainability. Action step: set realistic milestones and celebrate incremental progress along the way. Stay focused on your goals, even during challenging times, and remain adaptable to changing circumstances. 4. Create value that attracts others. Parable insight: the mature mustard tree provides shelter for birds, benefiting not only itself but also those around it. Business lesson: successful companies create value not just for themselves but for their customers, employees, partners, and communities. By fostering mutual benefit, you build lasting relationships and establish a reputation for integrity and generosity. Action step: develop products, services, or initiatives that address real-world problems and contribute positively to society. Encourage collaboration and reciprocity in all aspects of your business. Key takeaways: the parable of the mustard seed teaches us that size isn't everything, potential is what truly matters. Here are 3 actionable strategies to incorporate this principle into your business. 1. Focus on quality over quantity. Start with a core product, service, or team that delivers exceptional value. Use this foundation to scale gradually and sustainably. 2. Cultivate a growth mindset. Believe in the power of progress and improvement. View challenges as opportunities to learn and evolve, rather than obstacles to overcome. 3. Build a supportive ecosystem. Surround yourself with mentors, advisors, and peers who believe in your vision and offer guidance as you grow. Foster partnerships that amplify your impact and extend your reach. Overcoming doubt, staying faithful to your vision. One of the biggest hurdles entrepreneurs face is self-doubt. When resources are scarce, competition is fierce, and results are slow to materialize, it's easy to question whether your efforts will ever pay off. The parable of the mustard seed encourages us to stay faithful to our vision, trusting that small steps today can lead to great achievements tomorrow. To overcome doubt, consider these strategies. 1. Break down goals into manageable steps. Divide your long-term vision into smaller, achievable tasks. Celebrate each milestone to maintain momentum and motivation. 2. Surround yourself with believers. Seek out mentors, advisors, and peers who support your mission and encourage you to keep going, especially when times get tough. 3. Stay connected to your why. Regularly revisit the reason you started your business. Remind yourself of the impact you want to make and the values driving your work. Your role as a gardener of growth. As a business leader, you play the role of the gardener in this parable. Your job is to nurture the seeds of opportunity, ensuring they receive the care and attention needed to flourish. Ask yourself, are you investing in the right conditions for growth, such as talent development, process optimization, and customer engagement? Are you patient enough to allow your business to grow at its natural pace, resisting the temptation to rush results? Are you creating value that benefits others, both inside and outside your organization? Remember, the greatest trees often start as the smallest seeds. By staying committed to your vision and cultivating the right environment, you can turn even the humblest beginnings into something extraordinary. Questions to ponder. 1. Reflect on your own entrepreneurial journey. Did you start small? How has your perspective on growth changed over time? What lessons have you learned along the way? 2. Identify one area of your business where you could improve the conditions for growth. What specific changes will you implement to foster better outcomes? 3. Think about your long-term vision. Are you taking consistent action toward achieving it, or do you find yourself getting distracted by short-term pressures? How can you refocus on your ultimate goals? By answering these questions, you'll gain clarity on how to apply the lessons of the mustard seed to your own business practices. Closing thought. The parable of the mustard seed teaches us that greatness often starts with small, seemingly insignificant efforts. By embracing the power of small beginnings, investing in the right conditions, and maintaining patience and persistence, you can achieve remarkable growth and impact. Chapter 6: The Parable of the Lost Sheep. Imagine a shepherd who leaves 99 safe and secure sheep to search for just one that has gone astray. At first glance, this might seem irrational. Why risk the entire flock for a single lost lamb? But in doing so, the shepherd demonstrates an extraordinary commitment to the value of every individual. This is the heart of the parable of the lost sheep, a powerful reminder that each person, whether customer, employee, or partner, matters deeply. In today's fast-paced business world, it's easy to get caught up in numbers, metrics, and bottom lines. However, true success comes not from treating people as statistics but from recognizing their inherent worth. In this chapter, we'll explore how Jesus' teaching in the parable of the lost sheep can inspire leaders to prioritize relationships, foster loyalty, and create lasting impact. The biblical context, the parable of the lost sheep. In Luke 15:3-7 and Matthew 18:12-14, Jesus tells the story of a shepherd with 100 sheep. When one goes missing, the shepherd doesn't simply write it off. Instead, he leaves the others behind to seek out the lost sheep. Upon finding it, he rejoices and celebrates its return. Jesus uses this parable to emphasize God's relentless pursuit of those who are lost and his joy when they are found. It highlights the importance of valuing every individual, regardless of how small or insignificant they may seem in comparison to the whole. Business application: prioritizing people over profit. At its core, the parable of the lost sheep challenges businesses to rethink their approach to customers and employees. Rather than focusing solely on volume or efficiency, leaders must recognize the unique contributions and potential of each individual. Let's break down the key elements of the parable and apply them to modern professional contexts. 1. Recognizing individual value. Parable insight: the shepherd values the lost sheep as much as the 99 that remain. Business lesson: every customer and employee brings something unique to the table. Ignoring or undervaluing any one of them can lead to missed opportunities and diminished trust. Action step: develop personalized strategies for engaging with customers and supporting employees. Use data and feedback to understand their specific needs and preferences, then tailor your interactions accordingly. 2. Pursuing retention over acquisition. Parable insight: the shepherd prioritized retrieving the lost sheep over maintaining the status quo. Business lesson: acquiring new customers is important, but retaining existing ones often yields higher returns. Similarly, investing in current employees can boost morale, productivity, and loyalty. Action step: create programs focused on customer retention and employee engagement. Offer incentives for long-term partnerships, provide ongoing training and development opportunities, and regularly solicit feedback to improve satisfaction. 3. Celebrating success together. Parable insight: the shepherd calls together friends and neighbors to celebrate the recovery of the lost sheep. Business lesson: shared achievements strengthen bonds and foster a sense of community. Recognizing and celebrating individual contributions reinforces a culture of appreciation and teamwork. Action step: establish recognition systems that highlight both individual and team accomplishments. Host events, share success stories, and encourage peer-to-peer acknowledgement to build camaraderie and motivation. 4. Taking action despite risk. Parable insight: the shepherd takes a calculated risk by leaving the 99 sheep to find the lost one. Business lesson: sometimes, you need to make bold moves to address issues or seize opportunities, even if it means temporarily diverting resources from other areas. Action step: be proactive in addressing concerns raised by customers or employees. Allocate time and energy to resolving problems before they escalate, demonstrating your commitment to their well-being. Key takeaways: the parable of the lost sheep teaches us that success depends on cultivating strong, meaningful relationships. Here are 3 actionable strategies to incorporate this principle into your business. 1. Treat every person as irreplaceable. Whether it's a loyal customer or a dedicated employee, show them that their contribution matters. Personalize communication, offer support during challenging times, and celebrate milestones together. 2. Invest in relationship building. Allocate resources toward initiatives that strengthen connections with stakeholders. This could include customer service enhancements, employee wellness programs, or community outreach efforts. 3. Foster a culture of compassion. Encourage empathy and understanding within your organization. Train leaders and team members to listen actively, respond thoughtfully, and act decisively to meet the needs of others. Overcoming resistance, balancing scale with personalization. Some may argue that prioritizing individual attention isn't scalable or cost-effective, especially for large organizations. However, technology and process innovation can help bridge the gap between personalization and efficiency. Consider these strategies. 1. Leverage data analytics. Use customer insights to anticipate needs and deliver targeted solutions without overwhelming your team. 2. Empower frontline staff. Provide employees with the tools and authority to handle situations independently, ensuring faster and more empathetic responses. 3. Automate where appropriate. Implement automation for routine tasks, freeing up human resources to focus on high-touch, high-value interactions. Remember, scaling doesn't mean sacrificing personalization, it means finding creative ways to extend care and attention to everyone you serve. Your role as a shepherd of relationships. As a business leader, you play the role of the shepherd in this parable. Your responsibility is to ensure that no one feels forgotten or undervalued. Ask yourself, are you actively seeking out and addressing the needs of your customers and employees? Do you celebrate successes collectively, reinforcing a sense of unity and shared purpose? Are you willing to take risks or allocate resources to preserve valuable relationships? By prioritizing people over profit, you create an environment where trust, loyalty, and collaboration thrive. Questions to ponder. 1. Think of a time when you went above and beyond for a customer or employee. How did that experience impact your relationship with them? What lessons did you learn? 2. Identify one area of your business where you could enhance personalization or relationship building efforts. What specific changes will you implement to achieve this goal? 3. Reflect on your leadership style. Are you fostering a culture of compassion and inclusivity within your organization? If not, what steps can you take to shift the focus toward valuing every individual? By answering these questions, you'll gain clarity on how to apply the lessons of the parable of the lost sheep to your own business practices. Closing thought. The parable of the lost sheep reminds us that success isn't measured solely by numbers or outcomes, it's also about the people we touch along the way. By valuing every customer and employee, pursuing retention over acquisition, celebrating shared achievements, and taking action despite risks, you can build a business that stands the test of time. Chapter 7. The Parable of the Prodigal Son. Imagine a world where mistakes are not the end, but the beginning of transformation. A place where failure is met with understanding, and second chances are offered freely. This is the essence of the parable of the prodigal son, a story of forgiveness, redemption, and the power of starting anew. In this chapter, we'll explore how Jesus' teaching on forgiveness can reshape business practices, fostering environments where innovation thrives, employees grow, and relationships deepen. Forgiveness isn't just a moral virtue, it's also a strategic advantage. By embracing a culture of second chances, leaders can unlock potential, drive creativity, and build trust within their organizations. Let's dive into the lessons of the prodigal son and discover how they apply to modern business. The biblical context, the parable of the prodigal son. In Luke 15:11-32, Jesus tells the story of a father whose younger son demands his inheritance early and leaves home to live extravagantly. When the money runs out, the son finds himself destitute and humiliated. Overcome with regret, he decides to return home, expecting only to be treated as a servant. Instead, his father greets him with open arms, celebrating his return with joy and generosity. This parable highlights themes of repentance, grace, and unconditional love. It challenges us to let go of resentment, embrace vulnerability, and offer forgiveness even when it seems unwarranted. Business application, creating a culture of forgiveness. At its heart, the parable of the prodigal son teaches us that mistakes are opportunities for growth, not reasons for exclusion. In business, this mindset fosters resilience, encourages risk-taking, and strengthens relationships. Let's break down the key elements of the parable and apply them to modern professional contexts. 1. Encouraging risk-taking without fear. Parable insight. The prodigal son took a bold step by leaving home, though it ultimately led to failure. Business lesson. Innovation requires experimentation, and experimentation inevitably involves failure. Leaders must create an environment where employees feel safe to try new ideas without fear of punishment. Action step. Develop policies that reward effort and learning, rather than solely focusing on results. Encourage teams to share lessons learned from failed projects and use those insights to improve future initiatives. 2. Offering second chances. Parable insight: despite the son's mistakes, the father welcomed him back with open arms. Business lesson: people make errors, but their value doesn't diminish because of them. Offering second chances allows individuals to prove themselves again and contributes to a positive workplace culture. Action step: implement mentorship programs or performance improvement plans for underperforming employees. Provide opportunities for them to demonstrate their commitment and potential. 3. Leading with empathy. Parable insight: the father showed immense empathy toward his returning son, recognizing his pain and struggle. Business lesson: empathetic leadership builds trust and loyalty. When leaders understand and address the emotional needs of their teams, they inspire greater engagement and productivity. Action step: train managers to practice active listening, validate employee concerns, and respond with compassion. Create channels for open communication so team members feel heard and valued. 4. Celebrating comebacks. Parable insight: the father threw a grand celebration to mark the son's return. Business lesson: recognizing and celebrating recovery from setbacks reinforces a culture of resilience and perseverance. Acknowledging progress motivates others to overcome their own challenges. Action step: highlight stories of personal and professional growth within your organization. Use these narratives to inspire hope and encourage continued effort. Key takeaways: the parable of the prodigal son teaches us that forgiveness and second chances are essential components of a thriving business. Here are 3 actionable strategies to incorporate this principle into your leadership style. 1. Promote psychological safety. Ensure that your team feels comfortable taking risks and admitting mistakes. Foster an atmosphere where vulnerability is seen as strength, not weakness. 2. Focus on growth over perfection. Shift the emphasis from achieving perfection to continuous learning and improvement. Celebrate incremental progress and acknowledge the value of experience gained through failure. 3. Lead by example. Demonstrate forgiveness and empathy in your interactions with others. When leaders model these behaviors, they set the tone for the entire organization. Overcoming resistance, balancing accountability with compassion. While forgiveness is vital, it's equally important to balance it with accountability. Some may worry that offering second chances will lead to complacency or repeated failures. To address these concerns, consider the following strategies. 1. Set clear expectations. Define what constitutes acceptable behavior and communicate consequences for repeat offenses. Make sure everyone understands the boundaries of forgiveness. 2. Monitor progress. Track improvements after granting a second chance. Use regular check-ins to ensure the individual remains on track and provide additional support if needed. 3. Differentiate between intent and impact. Distinguish between honest mistakes made in good faith and deliberate actions that harm the organization. Handle each situation accordingly, prioritizing learning and restoration whenever possible. Remember, forgiveness isn't about excusing poor behavior, it's about creating pathways for redemption and growth. Your role as a forgiving leader. As a leader, you play the role of the father in this parable. Your job is to welcome back those who have stumbled, guide them toward better choices, and celebrate their successes along the way. Ask yourself, are you willing to extend forgiveness and offer second chances when appropriate? Do you prioritize learning and development over punishment and blame? Are you modeling the behavior you wish to see in others? By leading with empathy and grace, you create an environment where people feel empowered to take risks, learn from their mistakes, and contribute fully to the organization's success. Questions to ponder. 1. Think of a time when someone forgave you or gave you a second chance. How did that experience impact your life? What lessons can you apply to your leadership today? 2. Identify one area of your business where you could foster a more forgiving culture. What specific changes will you implement to achieve this goal? 3. Reflect on your leadership style. Are you promoting psychological safety and encouraging risk-taking within your organization? If not, what steps can you take to shift the focus toward growth and resilience? By answering these questions, you'll gain clarity on how to apply the lessons of the prodigal son to your own business practices. Closing thought. The parable of the prodigal son reminds us that forgiveness is a powerful force capable of transforming individuals, teams, and organizations. By embracing a culture of second chances, we empower our people to innovate, grow, and succeed despite setbacks. Chapter 8. The Parable of the Workers in the Vineyard. Imagine a workplace where employees are treated with fairness but also with an unexpected measure of generosity. A place where compensation isn't solely based on time worked or tasks completed, but also reflects the intrinsic value each person brings to the team. This is the heart of the parable of the workers in the vineyard, a story that challenges our conventional notions of fairness and invites us to consider the power of kindness and grace in leadership. In this chapter, we'll explore how Jesus' teaching in this parable applies to modern business practices. We'll uncover how leaders can balance fairness with generosity, creating workplaces that foster loyalty, motivation, and a sense of belonging. The biblical context, the parable of the workers in the vineyard. In Matthew 20:1-16, Jesus tells the story of a landowner who hires workers for his vineyard at various times throughout the day, some early in the morning, others later in the afternoon. At the end of the day, he pays all the workers the same wage, regardless of when they started. The workers who labored all day grumble, feeling it's unfair that those who worked less received the same pay. However, the landowner responds by reminding them that their agreement was fair, and his generosity toward others doesn't diminish what they earned. This parable highlights themes of fairness, generosity, and perspective. It challenges us to rethink how we define equity and encourages us to act with kindness, even when it might seem unconventional. Business application: creating equitable yet generous workplaces. At its core, the parable of the workers in the vineyard teaches us that true fairness goes beyond strict equality. It incorporates empathy, gratitude, and a willingness to give more than expected. In business, this mindset fosters trust, boosts morale, and strengthens relationships between employers and employees. Let's break down the key elements of the parable and apply them to modern professional contexts. 1. Fairness as a foundation. Parable insight: the landowner honors his agreements with the workers hired first, ensuring they receive what was promised. Business lesson: transparency and consistency in policies and practices build trust within an organization. Employees should know what to expect and feel confident that their contributions will be recognized fairly. Action step: develop clear compensation structures, performance metrics, and reward systems that align with your company's values. Regularly review these frameworks to ensure they remain equitable and competitive. 2. Generosity as a differentiator. Parable insight: the landowner extends unexpected generosity to the workers who arrived late, going above and beyond what was required. Business lesson: acts of kindness and unexpected rewards create emotional connections and inspire loyalty. When employees feel valued beyond mere transactional exchanges, they are more likely to commit fully to their work. Action step: implement programs that recognize effort, attitude, and teamwork, not just outcomes. Surprise high performers with bonuses, promotions, or personalized gestures that show appreciation for their hard work. 3. Perspective over resentment. Parable insight: the workers hired first focus on perceived inequities rather than appreciating what they've received. Business lesson: encourage a culture of gratitude and perspective, where employees celebrate successes together instead of comparing themselves to others. Action step: foster open communication channels where concerns can be addressed constructively. Use team-building activities and shared goals to shift focus from individual achievements to collective progress. 4. Leading with grace. Parable insight: the landowner demonstrates grace by treating all workers with dignity and respect, regardless of their circumstances. Business lesson: leaders who lead with grace inspire admiration and trust. They understand that people bring unique challenges and strengths to the table and strive to accommodate both. Action step: train managers to approach conflicts and negotiations with empathy and understanding. Provide opportunities for employees to share their stories and express their needs, fostering a supportive environment. Key takeaways: the parable of the workers in the vineyard teaches us that fairness and generosity aren't mutually exclusive, they complement each other in building strong, resilient organizations. Here are 3 actionable strategies to incorporate this principle into your leadership style. 1. Establish clear expectations. Ensure that roles, responsibilities, and rewards are clearly defined so employees understand what's expected of them and what they can expect in return. 2. Practice random acts of kindness. Occasionally surprise your team with unexpected perks, such as flexible hours, gift cards, or public recognition. These small gestures go a long way in boosting morale. 3. Encourage gratitude and perspective. Promote a culture of appreciation by regularly acknowledging team efforts and encouraging peer-to-peer recognition. Help employees see the bigger picture and appreciate the contributions of everyone around them. Overcoming resistance, addressing perceived inequities. One potential challenge in embracing generosity is addressing feelings of resentment among employees who may perceive unequal treatment. To mitigate this, consider the following strategies. 1. Communicate transparently. Explain the rationale behind decisions, especially when they involve deviations from standard practices. Help employees understand the broader context and the intent behind your actions. 2. Focus on shared goals. Redirect attention away from comparisons and toward common objectives. Emphasize how everyone contributes to the success of the organization, regardless of role or tenure. 3. Involve employees in decision-making whenever possible. Solicit input from employees on policies and initiatives that affect them. Involving them in the process increases buy-in and reduces resistance. Remember, generosity doesn't mean compromising fairness, it means expanding the definition of fairness to include kindness, empathy, and a commitment to the well-being of others. Your role as a landowner of opportunity. As a leader, you play the role of the landowner in this parable. Your responsibility is to create opportunities for growth, reward effort fairly, and extend generosity where appropriate. Ask yourself, are you honoring commitments while still finding ways to exceed expectations? Do you encourage a culture of gratitude and perspective within your organization? Are you willing to take calculated risks in showing kindness, even if it challenges traditional norms? By leading with fairness and generosity, you cultivate a workplace where people feel valued, motivated, and inspired to do their best work. Questions to ponder. 1. Think of a time when someone extended unexpected generosity toward you. How did it make you feel? What lessons can you apply to your leadership today? 2. Identify one area of your business where you could incorporate more generosity without sacrificing fairness. What specific changes will you implement to achieve this goal? 3. Reflect on your organizational culture. Does it promote gratitude and perspective, or does it encourage comparison and competition? If the latter, what steps can you take to shift the focus toward collaboration and mutual appreciation? By answering these questions, you will gain clarity on how to apply the lessons of the workers in the vineyard to your own business practices. Closing thought. The parable of the workers in the vineyard reminds us that fairness isn't about rigid adherence to rules, it's about balancing structure with compassion. By extending generosity alongside fairness, leaders create environments where people thrive, not just survive. Chapter 9. Parable of the Persistent Widow. Imagine a person who refuses to give up, no matter how many obstacles stand in their way. They knock on doors that seem impenetrable, ask questions when silence is the only response, and keep pushing forward despite repeated rejection. This is the essence of the parable of the persistent widow, a story about resilience, determination, and the importance of advocacy in achieving justice. In business, persistence is a critical trait for leaders, entrepreneurs, and employees alike. Whether negotiating contracts, solving complex problems, or advocating for change, the ability to persevere through challenges often separates successful ventures from those that falter. In this chapter, we'll explore how Jesus' teaching in the parable of the persistent widow can inspire us to stay focused, overcome adversity, and achieve our goals. The biblical context, the parable of the persistent widow. In Luke 18:1-8, Jesus tells the story of a widow seeking justice from an unjust judge. Despite the judge's initial reluctance, the widow's relentless requests eventually wear him down, prompting him to grant her request. Jesus concludes the parable by emphasizing the importance of perseverance in prayer and faith, reminding his listeners that God hears and acts on behalf of those who persistently seek him. This parable highlights themes of tenacity, courage, and trust in divine timing. It encourages us to remain steadfast in pursuing what is right, even when faced with seemingly insurmountable odds. Business application, staying determined in pursuit of goals. At its core, the parable of the persistent widow teaches us that success often requires persistence, patience, and a willingness to advocate for ourselves and others. In business, these qualities are essential for navigating negotiations, overcoming setbacks, and driving innovation. Let's break down the key elements of the parable and apply them to modern professional contexts. 1. Perseverance in negotiations. Parable insight. The widow doesn't give up, even when the judge ignores her at first. Business lesson. Effective negotiation often involves multiple rounds of discussion and compromise. Leaders must be prepared to revisit issues, refine proposals, and maintain open communication until a resolution is reached. Action step. Develop a strategic approach to negotiations, identifying key priorities and potential trade-offs. Practice active listening and empathy to understand the other party's perspective while staying committed to your goals. 2. Advocacy for change. Parable insight. The widow advocates tirelessly for her cause, refusing to let injustice prevail. Business lesson. Change rarely happens without someone championing it. Leaders who advocate for improvements, innovations, or reforms play a crucial role in shaping the future of their organizations. Action step. Identify areas within your business where positive change is needed. Build coalitions, gather data, and present compelling cases to decision makers. Be prepared to address resistance with logic, passion, and persistence. 3. Resilience in adversity. Parable insight. The widow faces an unjust system but remains undeterred. Business lesson. Challenges and failures are inevitable in any venture. Resilient leaders view setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow, maintaining focus on long-term objectives. Action step. Cultivate mental toughness by reframing failures as stepping stones to success. Encourage your team to adopt a growth mindset, celebrating small wins along the way and learning from mistakes. 4. Trust in timing. Parable insight. The widow's persistence pays off, though not immediately. Business lesson. Some outcomes take time to materialize, requiring patience and trust in the process. Leaders must balance urgency with realistic expectations, ensuring that short-term actions align with long-term vision. Action step. Set clear milestones and regularly assess progress toward your goals. Communicate timelines transparently with stakeholders, managing expectations while reinforcing commitment to the end result. Key takeaways. The parable of the persistent widow teaches us that persistence is a powerful force capable of overcoming obstacles and driving results. Here are 3 actionable strategies to incorporate this principle into your leadership style. 1. Stay focused on your vision. Keep your eyes on the prize, even when distractions arise. Break down large goals into manageable steps and celebrate incremental progress along the way. 2. Build strong networks of support. Surround yourself with allies who believe in your mission and can help amplify your message. Collaboration strengthens advocacy efforts and increases the likelihood of success. 3. Lead by example. Demonstrate persistence in your own actions, showing others that determination and hard work lead to meaningful outcomes. Inspire your team to embrace challenges with confidence and resilience. Overcoming resistance. Staying motivated through challenges. While persistence is vital, it's natural to feel discouraged at times. To overcome resistance and stay motivated, consider the following strategies. 1. Revisit your why. Regularly remind yourself of the reasons behind your goals. Reflect on the impact you hope to achieve and the values driving your work. 2. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge and celebrate progress, no matter how minor. Recognizing achievements boosts morale and reinforces momentum. 3. Seek inspiration from others. Surround yourself with stories of individuals or organizations that have overcome similar challenges. Their journeys can provide motivation and practical insights. 4. Practice self-care. Maintain physical, emotional, and mental well-being to sustain energy and focus. Burnout undermines persistence, so prioritize rest and rejuvenation. Remember, persistence isn't about being perfect, it's about continuing to move forward, one step at a time. Your role as a persistent advocate. As a leader, you play the role of the persistent widow in this parable. Your job is to champion your vision, navigate obstacles, and inspire others to join you in pursuit of shared goals. Ask yourself, are you willing to push through resistance and advocate for what you believe in, even when it's difficult? Do you encourage your team to stay resilient in the face of challenges, modeling persistence in your own actions? Are you patient enough to trust the process, knowing that some victories require time and effort? By leading with persistence and advocacy, you create a culture where people feel empowered to tackle tough problems and strive for excellence. Questions to ponder. 1. Think of a time when persistence paid off for you or someone you know. What lessons did you learn from that experience? How can you apply those lessons to current challenges? 2. Identify one area of your business where persistence could make a difference. What specific actions will you take to stay focused and drive results? 3. Reflect on your leadership style. Are you encouraging persistence and advocacy within your organization? If not, what steps can you take to foster these qualities among your team? By answering these questions, you'll gain clarity on how to apply the lessons of the persistent widow to your own business practices. Closing thought. The parable of the persistent widow reminds us that justice, success, and fulfillment often require persistence, courage, and unwavering advocacy. By staying determined, building networks of support, and trusting the process, leaders can overcome obstacles and achieve remarkable outcomes. Chapter 10, Parable of the Pearl of Great Value. Imagine stumbling upon a treasure so extraordinary that it changes the course of your life. In that moment, everything else fades into insignificance as you realize this discovery is worth every sacrifice. This is the essence of the parable of the pearl of great value, a story about recognizing what truly matters and aligning your actions with your deepest values. In business, success isn't just about achieving financial goals, it's about creating meaning, impact, and fulfillment. The parable of the pearl of great value teaches us to prioritize purpose over profit, focus on long-term vision, and make sacrifices when necessary to pursue what truly matters. In this chapter, we'll explore how these principles can transform your approach to leadership, decision-making, and career development. The biblical context. The parable of the pearl of great value in Matthew 13:45 and 46, Jesus tells the story of a merchant searching for fine pearls. When he finds one pearl of immense value, he sells everything he owns to buy it. This parable highlights the idea of making sacrifices for something far greater than material wealth or fleeting pleasures. It challenges us to identify our own pearl, the thing or mission that gives our lives purpose, and commit wholeheartedly to pursuing it. Business application. Prioritizing purpose over profit. At its core, the parable of the pearl of great value encourages us to think beyond short-term gains and focus on what will bring lasting significance. In business, this means aligning personal values with professional pursuits, prioritizing meaningful work, and making strategic sacrifices to achieve long-term success. Let's break down the key elements of the parable and apply them to modern professional contexts. 1. Identifying your pearl. Parable insight. The merchant recognizes the extraordinary value of the pearl immediately. Business lesson. Success begins with clarity about what truly matters to you, whether it's innovation, sustainability, customer satisfaction, or community impact. Knowing your pearl helps guide decisions and maintain focus. Action step. Reflect on your core values and aspirations. Ask yourself, what drives me? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? Use these insights to shape your business strategy and daily actions. 2. Making strategic sacrifices. Parable insight. The merchant sells all he has to acquire the pearl, demonstrating his willingness to sacrifice for something greater. Business lesson. Achieving greatness often requires letting go of lesser priorities. Leaders must be willing to invest time, resources, and energy in initiatives that align with their vision, even if it means sacrificing immediate comfort or convenience. Action step. Evaluate your current commitments and eliminate those that don't serve your larger purpose. Redirect resources toward projects that reflect your values and contribute to long-term success. 3. Focusing on long-term vision. Parable insight. The merchant doesn't hesitate to act once he discovers the pearl, knowing its value outweighs any temporary loss. Business lesson. Short-term thinking can lead to missed opportunities. By focusing on long-term goals, leaders create sustainable growth and build enduring legacies. Action step. Develop a clear roadmap for achieving your vision. Set milestones, measure progress regularly, and adjust strategies as needed while staying committed to your ultimate objective. 4. Inspiring others through passion. Parable insight. The merchant's excitement about the pearl motivates him to take bold action. Business lesson. Passion is contagious. When leaders demonstrate enthusiasm for their mission, they inspire others to join them in pursuit of shared goals. Action step: communicate your vision clearly and authentically. Encourage team members to connect their individual contributions to the broader purpose of the organization. Key takeaways: the parable of the pearl of great value teaches us that true success comes from aligning our actions with our deepest values and committing fully to what matters most. Here are 3 actionable strategies to incorporate this principle into your leadership style. 1. Define your core purpose. Clearly articulate your mission and ensure it resonates with your personal values. Use this purpose as a guiding star for all decisions and actions. 2. Prioritize meaningful work. Focus on initiatives that create value not only for your business but also for society. Seek out opportunities to innovate, solve problems, and make a positive impact. 3. Stay committed to long-term goals. Resist the temptation to chase quick wins at the expense of long-term success. Invest in building a foundation that supports sustained growth and resilience. Overcoming resistance. Staying true to your vision. Pursuing your pearl may require difficult choices and sacrifices. To overcome resistance and stay aligned with your purpose, consider the following strategies. 1. Revisit your why. Regularly remind yourself of the reasons behind your mission. Reconnecting with your purpose can reignite motivation during challenging times. 2. Build a support system. Surround yourself with mentors, advisors, and peers who share your vision and offer encouragement along the way. Collaborating with like-minded individuals amplifies impact and reduces isolation. 3. Embrace flexibility. While staying committed to your core values, remain open to adapting methods and timelines. Flexibility allows you to navigate obstacles without losing sight of your ultimate goal. Remember, sacrifices made in pursuit of purpose aren't losses, they are investments in a brighter future. Your role as a seeker of the pearl. As a leader, you play the role of the merchant in this parable. Your responsibility is to seek out and pursue the pearl of great value, the mission, vision, or cause that defines your life's work. Ask yourself, have you identified your pearl? Is your current path aligned with your deepest values and aspirations? Are you willing to make sacrifices to pursue what truly matters, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient? Do you inspire others to join you in this journey, fostering a culture of purpose and collaboration? By leading with intentionality and authenticity, you create an environment where people feel motivated to contribute their best and strive for excellence. Questions to ponder. 1. Think of a time when you sacrificed something significant to pursue a higher purpose. What did you learn from that experience? How does it inform your decisions today? 2. Identify one area of your business where you could better align actions with values. What specific changes will you implement to achieve this alignment? 3. Reflect on your leadership style. Are you inspiring others to pursue a shared purpose, or are you focused primarily on individual achievements? If the latter, what steps can you take to shift the focus toward collective impact? By answering these questions, you will gain clarity on how to apply the lessons of the pearl of great value to your own business practices. Closing thought. The parable of the pearl of great value reminds us that success isn't measured solely by financial gain or market share, it's defined by the difference we make in the world. By identifying our pearl, making strategic sacrifices, focusing on long-term vision, and inspiring others through passion, we can achieve fulfillment and create lasting impact. Chapter 11, Parable of the Unforgiving Servant. Imagine carrying a heavy burden, one that grows heavier with every passing day. This burden isn't physical, it's emotional, the weight of resentment, pride, or unforgiveness. In business, leaders often face situations where forgiveness is required, whether it's forgiving a team member for a mistake, extending grace to a customer during a misunderstanding, or even letting go of past grievances against competitors. The parable of the unforgiving servant teaches us the importance of humility, gratitude, and forgiveness in leadership. This chapter explores how Jesus' teaching in this parable can help leaders cultivate a culture of empathy, trust, and collaboration within their organizations. By embracing forgiveness, we not only lighten our own burdens but also create environments where people feel valued, respected, and empowered to grow. The biblical context, the parable of the unforgiving servant. In Matthew 18:23-35, Jesus tells the story of a servant who owes his master an enormous debt, an amount so vast it would be impossible to repay. Moved by compassion, the master forgives the debt entirely. However, the same servant later refuses to forgive a fellow servant who owes him a much smaller sum. Upon learning of this hypocrisy, the master demands repayment and delivers a harsh rebuke, emphasizing the importance of extending mercy as it has been given to us. This parable highlights themes of gratitude, humility, and the reciprocal nature of forgiveness. It challenges us to recognize the blessings we've received and to pass on that grace to others. Business application: building trust through forgiveness. At its core, the parable of the unforgiving servant teaches us that withholding forgiveness creates barriers, while offering forgiveness builds bridges. In business, forgiveness fosters trust, strengthens relationships, and encourages open communication. Let's break down the key elements of the parable and apply them to modern professional contexts. 1. Recognizing what we've been given. Parable insight: the master forgives the servant an impossibly large debt, demonstrating immense generosity. Business lesson: leaders must acknowledge the resources, opportunities, and support they've received from others, whether mentors, colleagues, or customers, and express gratitude accordingly. Action step: regularly reflect on the contributions of those around you. Publicly acknowledge and thank individuals who have helped you succeed, reinforcing a culture of appreciation. 2. Extending grace to others. Parable insight: the forgiven servant fails to extend similar grace to his peer, revealing a lack of humility and empathy. Business lesson: true leadership involves modeling the behaviors you wish to see in others. When leaders forgive mistakes and offer second chances, they inspire loyalty and foster a positive work environment. Action step: encourage managers to approach conflicts with empathy and understanding. Provide training on conflict resolution and emotional intelligence to equip teams with tools for addressing issues constructively. 3. Avoiding hypocrisy. Parable insight: the servant's refusal to forgive exposes his hypocrisy, leading to severe consequences. Business lesson: authenticity is crucial in leadership. If you expect forgiveness and understanding from others, you must be willing to extend the same courtesy in return. Action step: lead by example. Demonstrate humility by acknowledging your own mistakes and asking for forgiveness when necessary. Show that accountability and vulnerability are strengths, not weaknesses. 4. Fostering a culture of gratitude. Parable insight: the master's act of forgiveness reflects gratitude for the servant's plea for mercy. Business lesson: organizations thrive when gratitude becomes part of the fabric of daily life. Grateful employees are more engaged, productive, and committed to shared goals. Action step: implement programs that promote gratitude, such as regular shout-outs, peer recognition, or gratitude journals. Celebrate successes collectively and encourage team members to express appreciation for one another. Key takeaways: the parable of the unforgiving servant teaches us that forgiveness, gratitude, and humility are essential components of effective leadership. Here are 3 actionable strategies to incorporate these principles into your leadership style. 1. Practice radical forgiveness. Extend grace freely and without condition. Recognize that everyone makes mistakes, and holding on to grudges only harms relationships and morale. 2. Model vulnerability. Admit your own shortcomings and ask for feedback. Demonstrating humility invites others to do the same, creating a culture of openness and trust. 3. Cultivate a gratitude mindset. Encourage team members to focus on positives rather than negatives. Regular expressions of gratitude strengthen bonds and motivate people to perform at their best. Overcoming resistance. Addressing challenges to forgiveness. While forgiveness is powerful, it's not always easy. Some may worry that extending grace undermines authority or encourages repeat offenses. To address these concerns, consider the following strategies. 1. Set clear expectations. While forgiving mistakes, ensure that standards remain high. Communicate what behaviors are acceptable and provide clear feedback on areas needing improvement. 2. Focus on intentions. Differentiate between honest errors made in good faith and deliberate actions that harm the organization. Handle each situation appropriately, prioritizing learning and restoration whenever possible. 3. Encourage accountability. Pair forgiveness with accountability by involving employees in developing solutions to prevent future issues. This approach ensures that forgiveness doesn't become a crutch for complacency. Remember, forgiveness isn't about excusing poor behavior, it's about creating pathways for growth and redemption. Your role as a forgiving leader. As a leader, you play the role of both the master and the servant in this parable. Your responsibility is to extend grace to others while remaining humble enough to accept forgiveness yourself. Ask yourself, are you practicing radical forgiveness in your interactions with employees, customers, and partners? Do you model vulnerability and humility, encouraging others to do the same? Are you cultivating a culture of gratitude within your organization? By leading with empathy, humility, and forgiveness, you create an environment where people feel safe, valued, and motivated to contribute their best. Questions to ponder. 1. Think of a time when you forgave someone or were forgiven. How did that experience impact your relationship? What lessons can you apply to your leadership today? 2. Identify one area of your business where forgiveness could improve relationships or resolve lingering tensions. What specific steps will you take to address this need? 3. Reflect on your organizational culture. Does it promote gratitude, humility, and empathy? If not, what changes can you implement to shift the focus toward these values? By answering these questions, you'll gain clarity on how to apply the lessons of the unforgiving servant to your own business practices. Closing thought. The parable of the unforgiving servant reminds us that forgiveness is a transformative force capable of healing wounds, strengthening relationships, and driving organizational success. By recognizing the blessings we've received, extending grace to others, avoiding hypocrisy, and fostering a culture of gratitude, leaders can build trust, inspire loyalty, and create workplaces where people thrive. Chapter 12. The Parable of Two Foundations. Imagine building a house. You can choose to construct it on solid rock or loose sand. While both structures may look identical at first, only one will withstand the storms of time. In life and business, foundations matter. They determine whether we crumble under pressure or stand firm in the face of adversity. The parable of the two foundations, found in Matthew 7:24-27, teaches us the importance of building our lives and organizations on strong, enduring principles. Jesus compares those who hear his words and put them into practice to a wise builder who constructs his house on rock, while those who ignore his teachings are like a foolish builder whose house collapses in a storm. This chapter explores how this parable applies to modern business practices, offering insights into planning, ethics, and resilience. The biblical context, the parable of the two foundations. In Matthew 7:24-27, Jesus concludes his Sermon on the Mount with the story of two builders. One builds his house on rock, ensuring stability even during fierce storms. The other builds on sand, leading to catastrophic failure when tested by harsh conditions. Jesus uses this analogy to emphasize the necessity of grounding our lives in wisdom, faith, and integrity. This parable highlights themes of preparation, foresight, and resilience. It challenges us to consider the foundation upon which we build our businesses, careers, and personal lives. Are we constructing something that will endure, or are we setting ourselves up for inevitable collapse? Business application: constructing resilient organizations. At its core, the parable of the two foundations encourages leaders to prioritize long-term thinking, ethical decision-making, and strategic planning. In business, these principles ensure sustainability, adaptability, and success through challenging times. Let's break down the key elements of the parable and apply them to modern professional contexts. 1. Planning for long-term success. Parable insight: the wise builder prepares for future storms by choosing a solid foundation. Business lesson: sustainable growth requires thoughtful planning and investment in foundational systems, processes, and culture. Leaders must anticipate challenges and build resilience into their organizations. Action step: develop comprehensive strategies for risk management, succession planning, and innovation. Regularly assess your organization's readiness to adapt to changing market conditions and unforeseen disruptions. 2. Prioritizing ethics over expediency. Parable insight: the foolish builder opts for convenience over durability, resulting in disaster. Business lesson: cutting corners or compromising values may yield short-term gains but often leads to long-term failure. Integrity is the bedrock of trust, reputation, and lasting success. Action step: embed ethical standards into every aspect of your business, from hiring practices to customer interactions. Hold yourself and others accountable for upholding these principles, even when doing so is difficult. 3. Building resilience through adaptability. Parable insight: the house built on rock withstands storms because its foundation is stable, not rigid. Business lesson: resilience doesn't mean resisting change, it means embracing flexibility and continuous improvement. Organizations that learn, innovate, and evolve are better equipped to navigate uncertainty. Action step: foster a culture of learning and experimentation. Encourage employees to share ideas, take calculated risks, and learn from failures. Invest in tools and technologies that enhance agility and responsiveness. 4. Creating a culture of trust. Parable insight: a strong foundation inspires confidence in the structure's ability to endure. Business lesson: trust is the cornerstone of successful relationships, whether with customers, employees, partners, or stakeholders. When people feel secure and valued, they are more likely to commit fully to shared goals. Action step: build trust by being transparent, consistent, and compassionate in your leadership. Communicate openly about challenges and successes, and involve team members in decision-making processes. Key takeaways: the parable of the two foundations teaches us that success depends on the strength of our foundations. Here are 3 actionable strategies to incorporate this principle into your leadership style. 1. Plan for sustainability: focus on creating value that lasts, rather than chasing quick wins. Develop robust systems and processes that support long-term growth and stability. 2. Lead with integrity: make ethics a non-negotiable part of your business strategy. Demonstrate honesty, fairness, and accountability in all your dealings, inspiring others to follow suit. 3. Embrace change with confidence: cultivate adaptability and resilience within your organization. Equip teams with the skills and resources needed to thrive in dynamic environments. Overcoming resistance: preparing for storms before they arrive. It's easy to focus on immediate priorities and neglect foundational work until a crisis arises. To overcome resistance and stay proactive, consider the following strategies. 1. Conduct regular audits. Periodically review your organization's systems, processes, and culture to identify areas needing reinforcement. Address weaknesses before they become critical issues. 2. Invest in talent development. Empower employees with the skills and knowledge needed to contribute effectively to your foundation. Training programs, mentorship opportunities, and cross-functional collaboration strengthen organizational capabilities. 3. Encourage open communication. Create channels for sharing concerns, ideas, and feedback. Early detection of potential problems allows for swift resolution and minimizes damage. Remember, preparing for storms isn't about predicting the future, it's about equipping yourself to handle whatever comes your way. Your role as a wise builder. As a leader, you play the role of the wise builder in this parable. Your responsibility is to lay a foundation that supports your organization's vision, mission, and values. Ask yourself, are you investing enough time and resources into building strong systems, processes, and cultures? Do your decisions reflect a commitment to ethics, sustainability, and long-term success? Are you fostering a culture of trust, transparency, and adaptability within your organization? By prioritizing these elements, you create an enterprise capable of enduring whatever challenges arise. Questions to ponder. 1. Think of a time when your business or career faced significant challenges. How well prepared were you to handle the situation? What lessons did you learn about the importance of strong foundations? 2. Identify one area of your business where you could strengthen foundational systems or processes. What specific actions will you take to address this need? 3. Reflect on your leadership style. Are you promoting sustainability, ethics, and resilience within your organization? If not, what steps can you take to shift the focus toward these values? By answering these questions, you'll gain clarity on how to apply the lessons of the two foundations to your own business practices. Closing thought. The parable of the two foundations reminds us that success isn't determined solely by talent, ambition, or luck. It's shaped by the strength of our foundations. By planning for the future, prioritizing ethics, building resilience, and cultivating trust, leaders can construct organizations that endure through turbulent times. Chapter 13: Living Out Biblical Wisdom in Business. Throughout this audiobook, we've explored how the parables of Jesus Christ offer profound insights into leadership, ethics, and strategy for modern business. From planting seeds of opportunity to building houses on solid foundations, these timeless stories provide a blueprint for success that transcends profit margins and focuses on purpose, integrity, and resilience. As you reflect on the lessons shared in previous chapters, consider this: what would it look like to live out biblical wisdom not just in theory but in practice? How can the principles of compassion, perseverance, forgiveness, and stewardship shape your daily decisions as a leader, entrepreneur, or professional? Integrating biblical wisdom into daily life. Now that we've reviewed the foundational principles, let's explore practical ways to incorporate them into your everyday routine. 1. Start each day with purpose. Begin your mornings by reflecting on your core values and the impact you wish to make. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? How can I serve others and contribute positively? Which decisions will align with my long-term vision? 2. Practice mindful decision-making. Before making important choices, pause to evaluate their alignment with biblical principles. Consider, does this decision honor integrity and fairness? Will it benefit others as well as myself? Am I prepared to face potential consequences with humility and resilience? 3. Lead with compassion and empathy. Approach interactions with employees, customers, and partners through the lens of care and understanding. Remember, everyone has unique struggles and strengths. Listening actively builds trust and strengthens relationships. Kindness often yields greater results than authority alone. 4. Celebrate progress and learn from setbacks. Acknowledge milestones along the way and use failures as stepping stones for improvement. Reflect on what went well and why. What could have been done differently? How can these insights inform future actions? 5. End each day with reflection. Conclude your evenings by reviewing the day's events and identifying areas for growth. Journal about moments of success and gratitude, challenges faced and lessons learned, commitments to improve tomorrow. Your call to action. As you close this chapter, and perhaps the audiobook itself, consider the legacy you wish to leave behind. Will you be remembered as someone who chased profits at any cost, or as a leader who inspired others through purpose, integrity, and compassion? Take these final steps to apply the lessons of this book. 1. Identify one area of your business or career where you can immediately implement a biblical principle. 2. Share this book's teachings with colleagues, mentors, or mentees to spark meaningful conversations about faith and enterprise. 3. Commit to ongoing learning and growth by exploring additional resources, such as scripture study, workshops, or networking groups focused on faith-based leadership. Final thoughts. The parables of Jesus teach us that true success isn't measured solely by financial gains or market share, it's defined by the difference we make in the lives of others. By embracing biblical wisdom, we create businesses that not only achieve excellence but also uplift humanity. Let this audiobook serve as a compass guiding you toward purpose-driven success. May the parables of Jesus inspire you to lead with courage, compassion, and conviction, leaving a lasting impact on everyone you encounter. May your treasure be found in serving others, building resilient organizations, and honoring the divine blueprint for success.